I most certainly can attest to the healing powers of these 5 somatic techniques for moving through difficult emotions, such as grief. And we'll get to that, but first let's begin by shaking things up. This first technique is actually a combination of 3 different moves. The first is bouncing. The second is shaking. And the third is waving, spinal waving. And you can do just one of these 3 moves, or you can combine them as I'm doing in this short set here. The purpose of bouncing, shaking, and waving is to stir up your emotions within your body, all that charged energy. And that energy wants to move. It wants to flow within your body, and it wants to flow out of your body to find some form of bodily expression, to find some form of release. So shake it up and let it out. And as you perform these moves, explore what feels good rather than forcing things. Be gentle with yourself. And get connected with your body, noticing what movements your body enjoys, and explore those moves. These techniques can be used for dealing with many difficult emotions. In today's video, we're discussing the emotion of grief in particular. So in this next technique, we're thinking of throwing away that grief. We want to allow our arms to swing, just allowing momentum to carry the arms. We're not forcing anything, we're just flowing with it. This technique I go into more detail with in a previous video that I made, and I'll link that one in the top right corner and in the descriptions box below. But we are basically laying on more complex swinging patterns with this idea of throwing away the negative emotion and releasing that tension that gets trapped in the body, particularly up in the upper back, through the chest, and through the shoulders. Create some freedom and some circulation in those areas where that grief tends to get trapped. Be sure to proceed with a little caution if you have any shoulder injuries. This, our third technique, I started exploring when I was recovering from my dad's passing. My dad and I used to love to go out dancing together, and we have torn up our fair share of towns together along the way. But once he left this earth, moving on to peaceful pastures, I was left to dance by myself. So I realized I could go out to these beautiful beaches and pretend like he was holding my hand and spinning me about this grand dance floor. And it was a huge release. This past week, when a town that I first found and loved here in Costa Rica, when that town lost a legend, I went to the beaches of that town, and I did this same dance, imagining myself dancing with that legend. And it was so healing and powerful, and I highly recommend it. So put on your favorite songs that remind you of that loved one, and imagine holding their hand and letting them spin you and twirl you about wherever you might be, whether you're on a sandy beach or in your bedroom. Enjoy the dance and let out those emotions. In this fourth technique, we're really getting grounded in Mother Earth. You want to allow Mother Earth to fully support you. And in turn, you are caressing Mother Earth with your hands, your feet, your whole body, if you wish. Just giving this gentle touch, this gentle caress. And when performing this exercise on a beautiful beach like we have here in Costa Rica, you can find yourself making gorgeous patterns in the sand, and that also makes it feel really special. On this one, don't be shy to get dirty. I held back a little bit on this particular day because it is rainy season and the sand gets a little wet and a little less powdery. So I'm not rolling around in my usual way, but I do highly recommend it. And if you haven't seen me roll in the sand the way that I do, well, I'll link a video in the top corner and in the descriptions box below if you want to see one of those. So practice caressing the earth and allowing Mother Earth to hold and embrace you. And explore contacting Mother Earth in all the ways that you can through your feet, your hands, and your entire body. Now for our fifth and final, very important technique that I highly recommend when it comes to dealing with grief or any form of difficult emotion, is take time to breathe, take time to sit still, and particularly take time to be grateful for that body that you have, that you can experience the world through, that gives you the freedom to walk where you want to go, to hear the sounds of nature, and to hold and squeeze your loved ones. And I hope you'll do just that tonight. And until next time, guys, keep moving naturally for life.